أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وإذ قال إبراهيم رب اجعل هذا البلد آمنا واجنبني وبني أن نعبد الأصنام رب إنهن أضللن كثيرا من الناس فمن تبعني فإنه مني ومن عصاني فإنك غفور رحيم. ربنا إني أسكنت من ذريتي بواد غير ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم ربنا ليقيموا الصلاة فاجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. ربنا إنك تعلم ما نخفي وما نعلن وما يخفى على الله من شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء. الحمد لله الذي وهب لي على الكبر إسماعيل وإسحاق إن ربي لسميع الدعاء. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. Are we live? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your boy Amiin, also known as Ibn Bashiir, and welcome to the Strangers Podcast. And inshallah, for every episode, we hope to start with a Quran recitation. So whatever you guys have as requests or recommendations, leave a comment on YouTube, inshallah, and we're going to pick one of them to recite at the start of the video. But yeah, welcome to the Strangers Podcast. I'm excited, so let's get to it. I forgot what I was going to say, bro.
Strangers Podcast, guys, episode 1.
All right, let him take it over.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah. Well, this is a beautiful episode, bro. I feel like I'm at the beginning. Blah, 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 blah.
It's a little shaky. It's okay. No, it's okay. This is our first time. We're allowed to make mistakes, but
Facts.
a little bit slow to start. But you know what? I think it started flowing.
Yeah. Bro, I think overall, like we just touched on some good points. We talked a little bit about what it meant to be a stranger, what it meant to be a stranger as a Muslim, amongst non-Muslims in general. Shared a couple stories.
I'm so embarrassing, man. I never thought I'd share that story, bro. I didn't even tell you the story for as long as I've known you.
I know, it's crazy.
But yeah, man, I had to start off the first episode with a blast.
I'm excited for the future of this podcast, inshallah.
It's gonna be fun, bro.
And I think you guys are gonna like this one.
SlaveOfMostWise featuring Ibn Bashiir.
I'm gonna take that.
Let's do it.
I could be featured. That's
okay,
cool.
Okay, in the future. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Strangers Podcast, guys. First episode. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Make sure you like.
We'll put
comment,
our socials in. Oh,
subscribe, bro.
I should have started off with that.
Bro, come on. Oh yeah, this is gonna be on YouTube, Spotify.
Yeah.
What else is there? Apple has its own.
I don't know what
Apple
Music
Podcast.
is. I don't know what Apple Music
Podcast.
is. We're talking
all
about.
platforms. But inshallah, follow us, and we're excited for what the future holds.
Smash the like button. I always wanted to say that. Comment, like, subscribe, everybody. Strangers Podcast, episode 1.
Yes, sir. All right,
We're good.
Cut.
Okay, here it goes. I mean,
Yes, sir.
Strangers Podcast. SlaveOfMostWise.
Ibn Bashiir.
Ibn Bashiir. And we're kickstarting episode 1. So, wallah, if you told me 5 years ago that I would have started a podcast with you, I would have never believed it.
It's crazy. Like right now, the era of podcasts is just booming, you know?
Yeah, man, we got to take advantage.
Yes, sir.
So, Strangers Podcast, bro. You came up with the name, so why don't you tell us? Tell me, how'd you even come up with it?
Yeah, to be honest, Allah, the whole concept of strangers is something that is very, very important in our religion, right? In Islam.
Yeah.
The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith that Islam began as something that is strange, and it will return to something that is strange, and glad tidings to the strangers. Right. And by the way, just disclaimer, we're not scholars.
Oh, absolutely not.
We're not people that you take your religion
Absolutely
from.
not.
We're not even students of knowledge. So
don't take our words for it.
Yeah, the reason why we're even doing this podcast is, I would say, just to show how it is being a Muslim, living out here. In the West,
share our journey with you guys,
our experiences, but yeah, don't take nothing directly from us. There's no fatwa. Yeah. Nothing like that is going to be happening here. Yeah. And inshallah, what I'm hoping to do is every time we use a hadith or anything as evidence, inshallah, we're going to quote that and we're going to add it to the description or whatever it is.
And feel free to correct us if you feel like we made any errors, because we might. So we're not perfect.
Facts.
So that's how it is.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole concept of the Strangers Podcast is just being strange. Because as a Muslim, actually in both ways. As a Muslim.
You could be generally speaking too.
With Muslims and to non-Muslims as well. You're going to be seen as a strange person, right? Mm-hmm. Quick example that I can give is when you're with non-Muslims, just you praying is seen as something that's strange, right? Like, yo, I gotta go pray. Yeah. But within...
There's always that awkwardness when you're praying and then they don't know how to act or whether or not to interact with you. It's so funny.
Yeah, bro. I have too many different stories like that.
Bro, one time I was actually praying in a corner and someone was talking to me. And obviously I get distracted easily. So I was just like flustered, but I didn't know what to do. And then they were talking. I think eventually they got the memo. But I broke into a cold sweat. I'm not even going to lie.
Yo, you know what that reminds me of? But it's one time we were praying in school, right? Yeah. And then we went in this one room and we were just praying. And this teacher walked in. And she's like, everybody get out. You guys have to be in class. And us were all like just in sync, just still praying. And she's like, why are you guys not listening to me? She's like, everybody who doesn't listen to me is going to get in trouble.
Yeah, I feel like if you fold.
Yo, we all stayed in our prayer. And you know what's so sad? A couple of guys came late, right? Yeah. So imagine we all say salam alaikum. We're like maybe in the third or fourth rak'ah. We're almost done. And this one brother was probably in his first rak'ah. We all leave and she's like calling his name. She's like, yo,
no, I would
let's go. And then we're like, yo, he's still praying. She's like, no, everybody has to go.
Damn.
And this guy, bro, Allah Mubarak, bro, this guy was a G. He stayed there, prayed. She tried to go in front of him. Like, she was doing the most.
Did he do that?
She was doing the most. Allah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember what happened after that, but...
Nah, well, kudos to the people that try to be strange, because it's not easy. Wallah, it's not easy. It's so easy to just go with the wave and with the grain, but going against the grain, it has a little bit of like awkwardness to it. Yeah, and 100%. And your desire to be strange or do things, for the sake of Allah should be stronger than that awkwardness, and that's where you get it.
Yeah, 100%. But even the saddest part about that is that nowadays, even being a Muslim, like even a Muslim praying is seen as strange.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you're praying 5 times a day, and guys are looking at it as like, oh,
mashallah, like from afar.
Like mashallah, oh, this guy's amazing.
Like he's good. I'm not gonna join him, but I respect it.
Yeah, and they just look at it as like, yo, you're doing something that's amazing. Yeah. But for me, I kind of take a balanced approach on that, because I know some people say, yo, that's the bare minimum. Yeah. It is the bare minimum, but at the same time, the value of Salah is so big
and heavy.
It's so big and so heavy that if you perform your Salah, it's your key and entry to Jannah. Yeah, so yeah, it is bare minimum, but at the same time, it's not really bare minimum. In general, you're not going to do something like the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, when the Salah was given to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Like originally, it didn't start with 5, right?
It was like, what, 50?
It was 50.
Oh, man.
So imagine even when he brought it down all the way to 5, Musa alayhi salam still said, he's like,
Too much?
your people can't handle it.
Oh, wow.
Because of his experience with Bani Israel, right?
Yeah.
So that itself just goes to show you, like, it's not meant to be 100% easy. You know what I mean?
You have to struggle a little bit.
So yeah, I don't like this whole thing that people try to make it that, oh, bare minimum.
Yeah, you're right.
Because at the end of the day,
Because I feel like when people see like things like sunnah, praying sunnah, or even like their behavior following the sunnah, it's like bonus points.
Yeah, and that's like, what it's supposed to be though.
Yeah.
Sunnah is supposed to be bonus points.
Yeah.
But now sunnah became, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, it's just sunnah. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just
okay,
sunnah.
okay.
All right, we're good. We don't have to do it.
I agree.
To be honest, that's pretty sad, bro. It just goes to show you how we view things and how the Sahabas, for them, the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, or anything they did was like, he did that, I'm gonna do this. I'm never gonna miss this.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like, oh, it's sunnah. All right, that means I can leave it.
Okay.
Right, it's like I don't need to do this. What are the obligations that I have to do? That's all I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you just focus only on the obligations, you're never gonna get to a point where you're getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
You're right.
There's one hadith, inshallah, I'm gonna put the reference in on the YouTube.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna kind of paraphrase what it says. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says that the servant doesn't come closer to him with anything other than, you know, the nawafil, which is basically the sunnah stuff, the stuff that you do outside of the obligations to your Lord. Because how are you supposed to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you're grateful and that you're his servant if all you're doing is just the obligations? Mm-hmm. Granted though, even if you do just the obligations, you're still doing your job.
Good, yeah.
Still doing your job. But in terms of, you know, working to get that rank, to get Jannatul Firdaus. We all want Jannah. We all want Jannatul Firdaus, but what are we doing for it, you know?
You're right.
Are we really doing the little things? Are we trying to implement the life of the Prophet ﷺ the way that, you know, the way that the Sahabas did? Not even close. Right?
I feel like when we're in the Western culture, bare minimum is more common than actually doing the extra mile for them, you know?
100%.
So it's like when you're going to work, you know, how often are you gonna like try to, you know, accommodate your salah into your work like schedule with your breaks or whatever? You're trying to pray Jum'ah, but you have work that day, you know? Because I talked to my boss when I got the job, and I didn't get the idea myself. I got it from another brother, but I asked my boss, if I can work 15 minutes extra every day, can I take an hour off for Jum'ah? And more times than not, they're understanding, unless like they're on the side of like not respecting religion. But nowadays I feel like, you know, the people in the West are trying to show that they respect religion or culture or race, ethnicity, you know, because now it's like sensitive. The times are more sensitive, right? So it's like, absolutely. Like, let me show you how much I'm willing to support you and your beliefs.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing though is you have to bring that up at the beginning.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because the minute you start doing that switch up, they're going to be like, oh, how come it wasn't important at the beginning?
Exactly.
If you stand up to your beliefs, you have values, you have your morals, and you stick by it, they're going to respect that. No matter who you are, they're going to respect you.
Absolutely.
If you tell them, hey, I need these times to pray, I need to do these things,
they're
going to say, okay. They're going to accommodate you 100%. And if you understand the whole concept of the rizq is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your provision is from Allah, you're not going to worry about what your boss is going to say about these things.
And if they can't accommodate you, then it's probably better off without you.
It's not the job.
But a lot of people don't think like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe like, yo, I finally got the job, and then they try to work, you know, their religion around the job.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's not a way to work, you know, and
that's what I mean by it's not easy. Like it's being strange. Even that conversation, trying to bring it up to them, it looks like you're making demands off the jump of getting the job.
Well, even let's say when it comes to Eid. When it comes to Eid, because Eid is not like on a set date.
Yeah,
we're always like, man, we're dreading this conversation.
We don't even know until like the night before.
It's like, man, I need maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday.
How do you explain to them the moon? Oh man,
like the fact that the calendar is not the same. Yeah. But you see, even that whole concept is you have to start getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly.
And then once you really understand. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, glad tidings to the strangers, which is like
You
a
get
beautiful
rewarded.
thing.
Yeah, you're rewarded.
Like, even though you're seen as a stranger to the eyes of the people,
yeah.
to the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're seen as
And
someone huge, someone great.
I feel like sometimes people try to be strange. Like they try to force it, you know? I want to be indifferent because they don't want to be like the rest, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes people are rude, but like not because they're rude as people, but they're trying to show you like you can do that with him, but with me,
I'm not that guy.
I'm different,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it's like it seems forced, but like if you're someone that actually knows what they want, you're
Yeah.
doing it for like a pure reason, and it's still uncomfortable to you, and you don't want, like it's uncomfortable, but you know your desire for it is like outweighing the uncomfort.
Yeah.
Then like that's like the people that are strange, not the ones that are like, oh, I'm just an introvert, you know, like I'm. Like I feel like a lot of people they want to be different, because everyone's kind of the same nowadays.
But you know, at the end of the day, I feel like people are still in that phase where like they want to do the same things as everyone else.
Yeah,
we're low-key doing something similar to that, but we're hopping on a podcast. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing podcasts, but
it's true, a lot.
at the same time, it's still an outlet that you can use for, as long as you're benefiting people, right?
Exactly.
That's at least that's our purpose, inshallah.
Yeah,
That's what our intention is to provide something that is going to be of value, right?
Yeah.
But
do you have any like situations where you feel like you felt strange in front of everyone, and like but you're doing it for like your sake or the sake of Allah?
You know, I have a bunch of different examples, but there's one that just came to mind right now. So, first year uni, I'm in engineering program, right?
Okay.
So,
mashallah,
I'm in that I'm in that class on the French campus. And you know how on the French campus it's like smaller classrooms, right?
Yeah.
So instead of being with like 1,000 people on the main campus, my class is 20, 21 people, right?
Oh wow.
Now I'm the only Muslim, and there's one other black guy there. First year engineering is like the craziest year, right? You're just busy, assignments, exams, so you're trying to juggle everything. And the only way to survive first year is you got to stick with a group, or you got to have your people. You got to be able to like, oh, okay, yeah, I worked on this assignment. You did this assignment. All right, let's share this.
Okay.
So, but the problem was, because it was such a small classroom, everybody was together. So there wasn't those small groups. So it's either you're with everyone or you're not.
Yeah.
So what I do at first, I'm like, okay, everybody's going to the library. It's like probably like the first week. Everybody's going to the library. Everybody's working on this thing together. They booked this huge room. So I sit down with them, and I'm thinking, we're gonna get started on some work. They start talking about, yo, what are we doing after this?
Yeah.
Are you coming to the party on Saturday? Yo, let's watch this movie. Let's go do this.
Imagine inviting Ibn Bashiir to a party.
Yo, honestly, bro, I felt super uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
But then at that moment, wallah, bro, I was just sitting there, and I'm just like, and then some of them are like trying to flirt with each other.
Oh wow.
Cuddling up together, bro. It's just a super weird atmosphere. For me, at that point, I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, yo, I need these people in a way, but I'm like, do I really need them? And I'm like, you know what? If I'm in their group, I have to basically fit in, or I take myself out of the group. But that's not an easy thing to do, because number one, I'm gonna be by myself, and number two, it's not like there's a bunch of different groups. It's everybody's together.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting in class now. So I decided to take myself out of that situation. So after that, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do classwork with these guys.
So you became a loner, basically.
I became a loner. I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm a lone wolf. I'm gonna do this thing on my own, and I'm trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala got me.
It's been hard. Right?
And well, it was difficult in its own way, but alhamdulillah, I ended up with a decent GPA, got into the program I wanted to get into.
Wow, mashallah.
And alhamdulillah, and that for me was,
you felt strange.
I'm like, yo, and the way they look at me too, they're just like, oh, why is he not coming?
It's like you didn't rock with them.
Yeah, they're just like, yo, what's his problem with us?
Yeah.
Does he not like us? It's that. And then a few of them actually came to me. A few of them were like miskeen ones, and they're like, oh, how come you don't want to? And I'm just like, oh, it's just because, I don't drink. Yeah. I don't party. I don't do those things. So you kind of felt out of place, So I'm just like, I don't have no problem with you guys. And the thing about me is, I'm not the type of person that like I'm not unapproachable. You know what I mean? Like I'm still chill with all of them. Like I'm cool with them, but they just know like
You're not on the same
you know I'm
wave
not
as
in
them.
this I'm not on the same thing that they're on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and then fast forward, bro. Funny story. So in the second year, because not everybody's on the main campus doing their different programs, they're doing this like get together. They're just trying to do like this. Oh, everybody, let's do a reunion. Let's go out to eat and this that. And I heard about it, and like, but nobody directly invited me, you know, because
Oh,
they
man.
knew I was probably not gonna
You did
slide.
not get the invite. Oh
And
man.
then this one girl, like, she was just always super mesquine, and she's just like, hey, you know, we're all going out to eat, and we're gonna go do this. I know you don't drink and whatnot, but all we're doing is eating at this one spot. Do you want to come? And I'm just like, oh, I'll get back to you. I'll let you know.
You aren't going.
Deep down, I was never gonna go, but
Yeah, I'm the type of person, I want the invite, even though I have no
yeah.
intention of pulling up at all. But I just want to know you want me
Yeah.
there,
For me, well, I can't. The minute I separated myself, I'm just like, yo, I gotta take that label with me. You know, like however they're gonna view me, it is what it is, type thing. You know, so
I'm telling you, it's not easy going against the grain, bro.
bro, imagine the whole class is like together,
And you're
and
on
I'm
your
just
ones.
there, bro. Sometimes there's like
Did you feel it was like awkward?
it was kind of awkward. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of awkward. And well, like, a lot of times I just find myself in the library by myself, or I'll just try to go to spots where I know nobody is, because I don't want them to just like be like, oh hey, we're doing this. Do you want to come? Because even though they might have good intentions, for me, bro, it was just not the place. And you know how uni is.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, people are just like,
You need the
oh,
connection.
let's go, link up. We're doing this.
Yeah.
So much distraction. There's so much bad things can happen in
Yeah.
university. So alhamdulillah, it ended up being a blessing for me.
Mm.
You know, I got into the program that I wanted to get into. I was pretty much ghost that
You
whole
didn't need
year.
those 19 others.
Alhamdulillah, all I needed was one. It was Allah subhanahu wa
Mashallah,
ta'ala.
that's
right?
a bar. Oh man, no,
Yeah.
but going against the grain is so hard, bro. I
It's not
remember
easy, yeah.
when I was like, this is so embarrassing to say, but when I was
Yeah.
starting off like doing my poetry and stuff like that, I would always perform at these events, and my poems back then used to be more dark because I used to think poetry was supposed to be like,
Talking about like hellfire.
yeah, man, it was just like death
Astaghfirullah.
and turn to Allah right now. That's how it was, and I'm not gonna lie, the bars were all there still, so it was
Yeah.
still like enjoyable to watch, but like it was more like trying to scare you into it. And I used to perform at events, and like it would be good vibes, or it would be like nice, like so much people are like laughter and stuff, and then I come and perform, and I'd be on some remember death. And I swear to God, like I used to do it, and then I would be the only one on a serious tip,
Bro, you used to be unfazed though. You used to not care
unfazed,
about
bro.
anything.
Like I'm not gonna lie, like my iman, like back then, like in high school times, was at its best, at its peak.
Yeah.
So like it did not bother me
Overzealous
whatsoever.
teen, basically,
Yeah, it did not bother me whatsoever. I remember there was this one event. Oh my gosh, and it's so cringe whenever I think about it. But and I would never do this in today's day, but I had this one poem, and it was a comedy event. Okay, so everybody is, making their jokes, performing their jokes and stuff like that, and I'm the last person performing. Okay, so I go up and I'm performing, and the poem it started off with
Yeah.
Muslim sisters who wear tight jeans. Oh my gosh. And the funny thing is, like I was like coming for them, but I also had like a segment for the guys too. I'd be like, yo, Muslim guys wearing your pants. Da-da-da. Like I was coming for everyone, but the point is I was like attacking at an event where like everything is good vibes. And me, I'm like, yo, hold up, we're having a little too much fun here. Let's think about the Lord. So it was like, and nowadays, like if I said that in today's day, I would be canceled in 2 seconds.
Giving dawah at all
And
costs,
it's
bro.
cringe whenever I think about it, because I would never do that. But like I was like, I guess young, and like I thought I was doing the right thing, and I was so naive. But I was just like, oh man. But I was unfazed, and I was so willing to be that stranger.
But at the end of the day, they all went to sleep that night, or before they went to sleep, they're like,
They thought about it probably.
They thought
You know
about
what's
it.
crazy? Like I never got any negative reaction towards anything I was saying. Like every time people will come to me and they'll be like, mashallah, like what you said really resonated with me, or like what you said was like, you know, like deep or something like that. And I'm like,
it's the haqq, right?
exactly. So it's like, because at least someone, they're seeing that you're trying, like they're seeing the mission. You're trying to like benefit people. Obviously, that wasn't the right way to go about it, and I was young and I don't know what I was doing.
The
but
wrong place.
regardless, like I was trying to like benefit everyone, you know, and myself too, first and foremost. But yeah, man, I was going against the grain, no lie with that. Oh man, but nowadays, I swear when I perform, like I feel like it's easier to just be yourself. Like my personality was not scary, so it's like, why am I trying to scare people into it when I can like, you know, be good vibes?
Yo, I'm actually excited for you, bro. I want you to use this platform as well to drop some of your, you know,
Yeah,
little
bro.
1-2 poems.
I could, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. You need to actually, you know, put that stuff out there.
My thing is, like, I have like the talent for it and I have the drive for it, but I just
100%.
the first step is always the hardest, bro.
Yeah,
like I have
yeah.
so much like content in my head. I don't write things down.
Yeah.
I always have it right here in my head.
Yeah.
Just written down in my head, just waiting to like be used. I just never use it.
Yeah, bro. Inshallah, bro.
Inshallah, man. Stay tuned, guys.
I
Slave
see
of Most
big
Wise.
things for this guy. Yeah, Slave of Most Wise. Follow him on all platforms.
All platforms, inshallah. I'm gonna be dropping my bars soon times. Inshallah, man.
Inshallah. But man, back to like just being strange. I think one other like huge thing is let's say if you're someone that like memorizes the Quran or reads a couple ayat. This is a big issue with social media. Is the minute they see someone,
You're a sheikh.
the minute you
You're a
post
sheikh.
one thing,
Yeah.
they're like, yo, this guy's a sheikh.
Sheikh.
They put you up on like a pedestal, right? But at the end of the day, all it is just da'wah.
You're
Like
trying.
For me, like my biggest thing is like the quote that's on my bio is بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said like, convey for me even one verse. At the end of the day, like you don't know where your message is gonna reach. But at the same time, it's kind of unfortunate how like people kind of raise you up to a certain level and like you're repeating, I'm not a sheikh, I'm not a scholar, I'm not a student of knowledge.
You just look like you're trying to be humble.
But it's the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? they look at that as like, nah, he's just trying to be humble. But it's 100% facts.
I know.
100% facts. You know, inshallah, I aspire to get to that level.
Yeah.
But
you know yourself.
I know
like,
myself. Yeah.
You're not on that pedestal.
Take it straight from me. Like, I'm not capping. I'm not capping when I say that. But you know, whatever that I have, that I understand, I'll try to convey that. Convey that message, and hopefully, you know, it makes an impact on someone's life, right?
Because if someone wanted to like learn something, there's obviously better options.
Yeah,
right.
There's a million better options. You know what I mean? There's ulama, there's shuyukh, there's generations upon generations of people that have brought down, you know, narrations and hadith and, you know, fatwas, whatever it is. Like there's scholars, there's people that actually studied this stuff, you know?
Yeah, and to add on to it, like more personal level, not even like on social media, if you're known as that sheikh, like you're not allowed to do things, but they are, you know? Like let's say, for example, you're out and about, let's say there's an event and there's music in the background or something, and like you're there, it's like, oh, why are you here?
Facts.
Bro, why are you here? You know, like
I know what you mean.
it's like we're both Muslims at the end of the day, you know?
It's like that whole thing where like they say, when a guy sees like a hijab, when a guy's at the club and he sees a hijab and he's like, what are you doing here? When he's
this is the most hypocritical thing.
Right?
Exactly, man. So it's like there's no like levels to it. Everybody's at the end of the day a slave of Allah. They're servants of Allah. So you're all gonna get, you know, judged the same exact way. So if you're looked at as a sheikh, an imam, and a person that, you know, parties and stuff like that, they're gonna be judged in the same way.
But at the same time, someone who knows and someone who doesn't know isn't the same.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
So like someone who knows something that they're doing is haram and is deliberately doing it is not on the same level as someone who's ignorant
to it. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So the more knowledge you have, the more accountable you are to it. Which is like, it's like a double-edged sword, but like the reward for it is so great. Like if you memorize the Quran, like it's upon you to like do your best to retain it, to have all of it so that you're not supposed to forget it. And then you try to learn the meaning, the translation, the tafsir. But as long as like you're working towards it,
and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees your effort, you know, inshallah, you'll be rewarded for it. And the reward is going to be immense. It's going to be great. But on the flip side, if you memorize all of this, if you learn all of this and you're just like, you know what? I don't want to do this. This is 110% a reminder to myself first.
Yeah.
Wallahi, because this is scary to even say. But everything that we know, everything that we learn about Islam, we're held accountable for it. Right? So the whole ignorance is bliss. In a way, it's true, but at the same time, you don't want to be ignorant.
You don't want to.
You need to have that knowledge of Islam. Your fundamentals, you have to understand it. And Allah, at the end of the day, bro, the reward is so much better. If you follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you to do, the reward is amazing, bro. The reward is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, and Allah tells us, like, this world is just temporary.
Yeah.
But yeah, as human beings, what do? We just fall back to the same things, right?
Sorry.
We can't fathom, we can't understand the fact that this world, the life of this world is nothing but a day or half a day.
That's crazy.
But Allah says, وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى, and that the hereafter is better for you and it's eternal. And if you really truly understand that, we're taking a gamble on this life is the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, if we imagine you knew
the overview,
like the enjoyment of this world is only a day versus eternity. You know what I mean? Like, what are we on? Sometimes, bro,
we can't fathom eternity. It doesn't make sense to us.
Yeah, but even just the thought, just to process that, you just realize how dumb we are.
Yeah, well,
No, at the end of the day, we just continue to slip up.
As humans, we're actually not smart.
Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, Allah created us as, you know, kullu bani adam khata, like we all make sense. And the best of us are those who repent back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not about not slipping up.
No.
It's just when you slip up, get back up and, you know, fix up.
My alim always says, like, if you do sin, it's like you get dirty. You know, and when you get dirty, what do? You shower.
You clean yourself,
right?
Yeah.
You don't continue to get more dirty because you're like, yo, I'm already dirty, so I might as well continue to get more dirty. No, you shower. If you're gonna get dirty again, okay, but you gotta shower. Always gotta shower. And that's like metaphorically speaking, it's like when you sin. Yeah. And you feel like, yo, I can't pray, I can't face Allah anymore because I just sinned. I can't, you know? Yeah. But you're looking at your sin, but Ilahi is like watching all sins all the time. Like what you've done is nothing comparable to what other people are doing, you know? Yeah. And even them, they can be forgiven for it, you know?
And even crazier than that, bro, your sin, it's not about your sin. It's about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like His ability. Like we downplay Allah's forgiveness and His mercy so much. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us so many different opportunities to turn back to Him. But we see the sins that we do as so big. We're like, you know what, man, I did this. How can I go back to Allah?
It's true, Allah.
When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is literally giving us a million different avenues to go to Him. Like who's waking up the last third of the night asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness? And Allah is literally saying, who is asking for forgiveness so I can forgive them? Who's asking for something so I can give it to them? Yeah, we sleep the whole night, bro.
I feel like subconsciously it's just we're not forgiving ourselves. We put some sins weight heavier than others. Obviously it's true, but it's like I'll go to the club and I'll do this and drink stuff, but I'll never eat pork. You'll never see me eating pork. You know, if someone's eating pork, you can shun them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like of course there's levels to it because there's major sins, there's minor sins, but all sins get forgiven.
The door to forgiveness is not closed. So long as you're living, so long as the sun hasn't risen from the west, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving and the most merciful. And you just got to truly understand that this life is short and this life is a test. And
I need to do better than that. I need to have more like dialogue.
Yeah, myself too, bro. And even that's why listening to, you know, podcasts and stuff that is beneficial is just gonna bring you back.
Yeah, well, I like hearing people's stories and then like it like resonating with me.
And even talking about it yourself as well is a reminder.
Because when we're done this conversation, I'm actually gonna think about it. You know?
Yeah, 100%. Another hadith that comes from the strangest part, where the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Be in this world as if you are a traveler or a stranger." Being in this world is supposed to be a short trip. That's why you're going to be your stranger. Imagine you go visit what's a random place? You go to Japan, and you just spend a day there. You're a stranger there for that day, right?
And no one's gonna know you. You're not gonna know anyone.
Gonna know exactly, and that's how we should be in this world.
I like that.
There's beauty in being strange, and that's kind of why I resonate with it so much.
Notice how in like shows or like animes, the coolest characters are the ones that are doing their own thing.
The ones that are on their own wave.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And everyone wants to be that character.
Yeah.
You know, but we don't have like the.
Yeah, and that's why Islam is growing so fast. Because if you really look at all the bad things that they say about Islam, like the religion is attacked from all corners, yet so many people are accepting Islam. It's because of the values and what it stands for. It resonates with people. It resonates with, their essence, their fitrah, what they feel like is the truth. Believing in one God, that you don't associate any partners with him, that you follow his commandments. And if you do that which is good and you follow his orders, at the end of the day, you're given Jannah. And if you don't, then you get punished.
And it doesn't waver with the times either.
It doesn't waver with the times. And like, bro, are you watching those YouTube videos? Do you believe that Quran should be reformed for the 21st century?
Oh my gosh.
Bro, honestly, it's disrespectful.
It is.
It's disrespectful. Like, we're talking about the Quran is the word of Allah. I don't know if people understand that. That's the word of Allah. What is your opinion, bro?
It doesn't matter.
How are you going to say, I believe that it should? You believe, bro?
Yeah, I see Muslims too. Like, they're debating on, yeah, man.
It's Muslims. How is this even a conversation?
Not.
How are we talking about what you think and what you believe, bro?
And the thing is, do you want to know what it is? It's like
arrogance,
the religion is like 90% like logical, and the other 10% is like faith. You have to have faith, Things that are not logical, like let's say the miracles and all that stuff, it's not supposed to be logical, But you have to have faith for that other 10%. And that 10% is what people are playing around with, It's like, this makes sense because, and they try to go to like the specific wording and try to find the root to it. And it's like, it's supposed to be easy to understand.
It doesn't have to make sense for it to be the truth.
We're making it complicated by trying to debate over it and try to argue on it and add things to it, take away things from it.
It's like the whole trying to find like scientific miracles within the Quran. Like, some people are going to be like, oh, the word earth is in the Quran 27 times, and then the word water.
I find those videos cool, I swear.
Yeah, but look, now imagine you go with that and you're like, oh, the Quran says it's 70%, 30%, whatever it is, 70 times to 30.
Yeah.
Let's say it changes over time and they're like, oh, guess what? It's 68 and 32. So does that disprove the Quran?
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't use the Quran to validate science.
Can't.
That's not how it works. Because the Quran is just a miracle in of itself. And also, like, the Quran is not something that you just interpret for yourself.
There's people that dedicate their lives to actually interpreting it.
Some parts of the Quran are clear.
Yeah.
Some parts are just direct. But there's some parts of the Quran that you have to look back at what the Salaf, like what the Sahabas, they were the best generation, right? The pious predecessors, and you see what they have said about this ayah. Because I can just look at this verse and I can make up my own interpretation of it.
Yeah.
But now if you go and spread that, when in reality it meant something else, you're walking a line that you're not supposed to. You're supposed to stay in your lane. Leave that to the scholars. Leave that to those who actually studied it.
And dedicate their lives
dedicated their lives to it. So what we do is, if we're going to quote something, we're going to try to see, okay, where did it come from? And try to bring that evidence forward. Like, I'm not going to come and tell you, oh, this hadith meant this, or this verse meant this, except if I'm going to quote where it came from.
Yeah.
And I feel like it comes from arrogance in a way, where people feel like they have the right to say whatever they want about the deen. When it's extremely dangerous to say about Allah that which you don't know.
You don't know who's listening to you and taking your word for it. You don't know how much people you could be steering off, thinking you're doing the right thing. But that's why even when we're saying what we think is the right thing, we have to actually fact check ourselves, and we have to like be careful with our words, because a lot of people are going to take your words for granted.
And this comes back to being strange, right? The reason why we do that, or the reason why people are doing this, is because they don't want to be seen as strange. You're like, oh, why do you fast? Oh, so that we can feel how the poor people feel. Because that's a very like cliche answer.
Such a cliche.
So people are like, oh wow, you guys are so kind. That's not the reason why we fast. Allah says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may gain taqwa, God consciousness. Everything else that might come along with it, that you feel the hunger and all of that, that could be part of it. But if you're telling someone, oh, we do this for this reason, or Islam means peace. You know, when Islam means submission to Allah, but you don't want to say submission because you're like, yo, well, what are they going to say?
Sound right.
But that's what we are. We're slaves of Allah.
Exactly.
We're servants of Allah. It's because it's strange. They're going to look at me weird if I say it means submission.
Yeah.
Oh, you submit? You're
Like
a man?
that's like the nickname, slave of the most wise.
And we wear that proudly, bro.
I wear it proudly because I
Slave.
am a slave. That's what I am, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, it's just, why do you call yourself a slave? Why don't you identify as a slave?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it's like you have to, you know, be grounded because you have to remember what you are.
Family, you know what's so beautiful? The fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He speaks about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Quran, sometimes He addresses him as His servant, as a word that means it's a good word. You know what I mean? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, Subhanalladhi asra bi'abdihi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as His servant. Like even being associated, me being known as a servant of Allah, bro, that's...
While the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was also known as one, is...
Bro, that's like even being associated with Allah is amazing.
It's powerful.
Allah calling you His servant. Ya ibadi, all my slaves, all my servants. Bro, that's beautiful. But obviously, if it's coming from a human being, you're gonna
it's derogatory. Yeah, it's like.
But that's the beauty of Islam, is that we don't submit to no one other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the only one who we should submit to, the only one that we should bow down to. You know what I mean? So like, there's beauty in that. There's beauty in that, and
Bro,
that comes from being stranger.
It's awkward, bro, especially in public when I hear, "Hey, yo, slave," and then people around are like, you know how often I have to go through that? It's like, did you just call him a slave?
Just to point out, basically, his name is Abdulhakim.
Abdulhakim.
And he goes by SlaveOfMostWise. And some brothers were just like, yo, that name is too long. So they started calling him slave.
Which I'm fine with, because...
As long as you're understanding, like, you're like, okay.
I always have to explain it, too. Especially non-Muslims.
Yeah,
like,
they won't get it.
They won't get it. But, like, most people, I respect the people that instantly get it.
Yeah.
Wow, mashallah. Like, you go by slave? That's hard, you know?
Yeah.
I respect those people because instantly they're thinking about the deen, you know? But for the most part, whenever I explain it to them, oh, my name is Abdulhakim, it's slave of most wise, slave of Allah. He is the most wise.
Yeah.
Instantly they change their judging mood to, oh my gosh, mashallah, like that's actually powerful, or that's genius, and then I just like...
It's humbling.
It's humbling. It's like, it's like... Or like sometimes I try to get smart with it. Why do you call yourself a slave? Because I am one. Oh, but you're only a slave of Allah. And then they think to themselves, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It's fun. You play around with it. But like, all in all, it's like, you just have to wear what you are, you know? That's like me calling you a human. It's no different. Because you're a human. Why would you call yourself a human?
Yeah.
Because I am one, brother. So it's awkward. It's funny. It's a little bit weird, but that's the whole point of being strange, though.
Yeah. You just gotta make sure your future kids, inshallah, are not calling you slave. You know?
Yeah, I know, man.
They gotta know the boundaries.
Yeah, man. No, I'm trying to refrain from nicknames. So like,
yeah.
So I'm trying to go back, but it's hard because like I'm starting off with the circle, with the guys in my circle, and it's not easy for them.
Yeah.
But I just say, yo, go back. Let's just go back to the name because once you get married and you try to have kids and stuff like that, you want to hear your name more, you know. So
Abdulhakim. Yeah, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, it's not easy though. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is fun,
bro. Honestly, it's just been flowing. Right? It's just been flowing.
Oh man, we should do this more often. Episode 1, guys.
Episode 1.